So before I get started, I'd actually gotten to know him pretty well, kind of through the Packers, both being Packer fans. Bob Holt, so kind of condolences to Bob and his family and the whole Arkansas. It seemed like he and Cal had gotten to have a pretty good relationship over there. So that was sad to hear. I haven't really talked to any of you guys since, but I enjoyed all my press conferences with him. I loved his questions, and I'm sad that he's not with us anymore. But it'll be great to get back home and play in Coleman. It's been over a month. It's been 33 days since we've had a home game in Coleman. It's a pretty long stretch, but we've had some pretty good games in between the last game here and this one. So, Creighton's one of the better programs in the country for a long time. Coach McDermott's had it going at a national level for pretty much the whole time he's been there. I think us and them are 3 of 5 programs played in 3 of the last 4 Sweet 16s. I think it's Houston, Gonzaga, UCLA, and then the 2 of us. So, we've been pretty good over the last 5 years. They've been really good for a long time. So it's going to be a good game. He does a great job. I know him well. Preston worked for him for a long time. Kind of made that introduction. So I've got a ton of respect for Greg, and it's not going to be that fun to play him, but it'll be good to see him again. So as far as who's playing, Houston's been solid in practice, getting better. Chris has practiced in still a limited role. He hasn't been. We haven't had him do everything, but I would anticipate him getting some minutes, as long as yesterday's practice he had a little bit of a, because it's not just whether his ankle's right. He hasn't gone hard, so his whole body's got to get ready to play. So he had a little bit of a hiccup, but he was able to go some today. So as long as he recovers from today, all right, I would anticipate him playing limited minutes tomorrow. So other than that, this is the end of 7 straight games against high major opponents, which most people don't do in the non-conference like we just did, and most of them being ranked. I think 6 of the 7 have had a player on the Naismith Player of the Year award too. So Copeland's really good, looked great last year against us. Ashworth's really good, and they've got very good shooting and great complementary players that are more than capable of scoring a lot of points. So it'll be a good game. It'll be good to get back in Coleman tomorrow.
Start with Nick Hill.
Yeah, depending on what role Chris has, what is it going to be or mean to you guys to be able to get him back and working with you guys?
Yeah, it'd be great to actually give him some reps. Hopefully this game and then the next 3 before SEC play starts, he'll be comfortable enough in those 4 games to be full go by the time we get to SEC play, which is really the original plan. So, we don't want to overdo it, and like I said, as long as everything looked good after today's practice, we'll evaluate it tomorrow morning. But it looks to me like he's going to be playing.
Charlie.
I have another Youngblood question. Just what does he bring? What has he brought to you guys from a leadership standpoint, and how much is that going to help actually get him on the court for that?
You know what? He's been a great leader, whether he's been on or off the floor. It is easier to lead when you're on the floor because you're in the middle of all the action. His leadership's been great. He's ultra competitive. He's veteran. He's taken a program at Kennesaw from 1 win to winning the league to following his coach to South Florida, and winning there. I think he's from Tuscaloosa originally, so big Alabama fan, but I love having him in the program even when he hasn't been playing games. I think he makes everybody better. His intensity level, his toughness, his IQ, and he's going to obviously be rusty. What we see tomorrow is not going to be, what we see against Oklahoma when SEC play starts, but you got to start somewhere and start playing. So we'll hopefully get him in some minutes tomorrow and then let him kind of build from here over these next 4 games before we hit SEC play.
Jack.
Yeah, Nick, before the show got hurt, it seemed like you kind of found a consistent starting 5. I think the 5 games before it was kind of the same lineup. I'm curious what kind of Jaren offers to that? I know he started against North Carolina. Kind of how do you plan on tinkering with that last spot in the starting lineup as everyone gets up to speed?
Yeah, you know what, it may be some years we've had rotating starters, some years we've had the same 5 for the bulk of the year. You know, we've got some guys that I think will probably be in there most nights, and then, you know, we'll see where we go. I thought, we started Jaren because we thought he was a good matchup on RJ Davis with his size and length and can move. I thought he did a great job on RJ Davis. Some of this stuff will be determined by matchups, but I think you'll see you'll see Sears, LeBaron, Grant, Cliff, you know, in there like usual, and then, you know, we're probably not going to start Chris this first game, but Chris is going to play, Houston's going to play, Jaren's going to play, Darian's going to play. You know, we see here Aiden Sherrill, Mo Diabate turned 21 today. He'll play. We've got plenty of options, and you know, whether we go with 3 guards, you know, with Holloway, obviously Holloway's going to play. He's playing really well, but you know, whether you kind of have that option to play 3 guards again. You know, we lost that without Reitzel, but you know, you got Sears, LeBaron, Holloway, Chris now, and even Houston. You can play 3 guards. You can also go big and play, you know, Jaren, Darian at the 3 and stay pretty big at the 4. So we get pretty good options. I'm not sure where we'll end up starting, but you know, we'll talk through that as a staff, and I would highly doubt that we'd start Chris in his first game though.
Like, and Nate, how have you assessed just where your rim protection has been this season, and just how's the preparation been for Colbert tomorrow?
Listen, when Cliff's played, he's given us good rim protection. You know, we've got to be better, but it's been better than last year for sure. You know, I also think, you know, Aiden Sherrill, as he gets more comfortable, could get more minutes and provide some solid rim protection. The one guy that's kind of come out of nowhere with it is Diabate. I mean, some of the blocks he had when we were in Vegas on that Houston game, I mean, he's done a pretty good job. I think Jaren and Grant can also provide some of that rim protection as, you know, 3s and 4s. But, you know, that was one of the big things we brought Cliff in for. And, you know, he's been in a little bit different system, played tougher teams, and I think he was 3rd best block rate in the country last year, highest among high major guys, but their schedule is a little different in non-conference than ours is too. So he had some real high block games against some lower level competition that we haven't played, nor will we play here, because even the 3 mid-major games we have left are really good teams. So, you know, I think he's been good, trending towards a lot better than good, but I think we've got room to improve still there. What was the second part of the question?
Just prepare for Colbert.
Carpenter, so I didn't think we did a very good job on him last year. You know, he's big, he's bigger than anybody we got on our team. If he gets it deep, you're in some trouble. You know, part of us getting Cliff and then obviously bringing Aiden is, I think we can guard the post 1-on-1 better than we did last year. Last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but our starting center and backup center both fouled out. One of them in 7 minutes and one of them in 24, so the 2 of them combined for 31 minutes and 10 fouls. So hopefully do a little better job than that. You know, we've had some issues guarding the post, which, you know, as a staff we've talked about it. One is we don't guard the post in practice very often at all, because that's not really the way we play. So we've got to do a lot better job stressing it, which we have over these 10 days off. So I think we'll have different options available to us based on what they're doing. The issue is with Creighton, some of these guys haven't shot the ball particularly well yet this year, but they're good shooters. I mean, Miller, I think, was 2 or 3 against us last year's percentages don't look great now, but he can shoot. You know, Jackson McAndrew's percentages aren't great, but he is an elite shooter. He just hasn't really gotten it going yet. Obviously, Ashworth can shoot. There's multiple guys on that team that can shoot, so you start doubling or fronting. You know, whether you double after it goes in or front, you're pulling 2 guys into guard him, which means there's a 2-on-1 somewhere. These guys move the ball really well. They find the 2-on-1s, and when the 2-on-1s are with 2 elite shooters and 2 great passers, all of a sudden you're giving up 3s. Some teams have had success whether it be doubling or fronting, so, you know, we've had some debate as to how we guard it, and we may have to go with multiple options, you know, when we look at guarding him, because he is big. I mean, if you're playing one-on-one and we do the same thing we did at Purdue, that's not a good recipe for success either, because they just kept killing us in the paint. So, you know, we may have to mix it up a little bit and see who is working on him, what's working on him, and try to go with a little bit of a few different things.
Tony?
Yeah, it's been like a month since you've played in this gym, and obviously you have a graduation going on right now. Did you guys have to do anything? Did you guys have to go into Coleman earlier than normal to get some shots in the gym?
Yeah, so typically we practice in Coleman the few days leading up to it. We weren't able to practice in there today or yesterday, and we won't be able to have game day shoot around in there tomorrow either. So we were able to get Monday, Tuesday in there, and then it kind of got shut down starting on Wednesday. So we'll be in there right before the game, trying to get a feel for it. I think the good thing, you know, is for us is where we play, and we have had opportunity to practice in there some. But yeah, we've mainly been in the practice gym this last month, or practicing on the road in Vegas. So we did make sure we practice in there Monday and Tuesday, and then yeah, if you guys want to go watch graduation, feel free to get graduation going on in there these next couple of days.
You talked about this being the end of this 7-game stretch, but it is the first home game here in Coleman, and obviously you've scheduled 12 out of conference every year. But why has it been important for you to have at least one of these kind of marquee non-conference games here at home in Coleman for the fans and the players?
Yeah, I think it's great for the fans, you know, to have a really good non-conference game. I mean, we had Houston in here a few years back. That would end up being a great game. And obviously, we've got Creighton coming here now. You know, we've got, you know, we're trying to get good opponents for the Birmingham game. It's non-conference, but then I think it's also important to have good games here. Like, you know, we're trying to sell the place out, sell season tickets. People aren't, you know, obviously winning's the most important thing in selling tickets, but I think putting a solid schedule for people to buy is important too. Like I said, Creighton's one of the winningest programs, you know, for sure in the last 4 or 5 years, but really over the last 15 years or so since Craig's got there. I mean, they're one of the better programs in the country every year, and their environment, their place is great. They got one of the best home environments, so hopefully we end up with a great environment. I know the student section, you know, will be a test to how much the students are in the basketball, because Craig, you know, finals are done today, graduation's tomorrow. How many of them want to stick around for an extra day or two or whatever? They had to stick around since their last final to try to fill the student section. So hopefully all of our local students make sure it's full, and hopefully a few of these guys stuck around for a couple of extra days to support us.
2 more. Hunter.
Just going off the Kalkbrenner question, could you see Cliff getting a few more minutes than usual, even with the foul trouble, just to have more of a defensive presence? Or would you say having in Sherrell and some of the other bigs and forwards would be more effective on him?
Listen, ideally Cliff plays great, like we planned on him playing in the post, and he does get a few more minutes. But, you know, if he's not able to guard him one-on-one, then, you know, we'll have to go to some other options, whether it be another matchup, whether it be doubles, whatever we end up having to try to do. But I think, you know, Cliff's gonna have to step up to the challenge and play a little bit better. You know, we didn't stress our post D going in that Purdue game like we should have in hindsight. Didn't think it was gonna be an issue. You know, the fact that Cliff doesn't have to guard the post ever in practice makes it a little bit harder for him to be a great post defender, because he's not going against a great post player every day in practice. But I think he's more than capable of being good, and against these dominant post players where they like to feed the post, we probably need to play him a few more minutes. But Aiden Sherrell's got great size, strong. You know, Aiden's gonna get a shot, and you know, other than that, I don't know if we trust anybody to actually play him one-on-one. I did think Grant did a solid job last year when we were at their place, being that both the other guys fouled out. But he's big, he's a tough cover, and he's going to test our defense for sure.
Last one, Johnny.
they've been a top 35 defense 5 years running, mainly in part obviously because of Colin Brennan, but how game plan wise can you try to negate his impact at the rim, rather than be driving at him earlier and trying to pull him outside the paint?
Yeah, obviously, if you don't game plan at all, just let them sit at the rim and block shots. You know, you guys know how we like to play. We like to get threes up, shoot rim shots. Well, they do a good job running you off the line, not giving you threes, and even if they don't, you know, some of their guys aren't great individual defenders, but they're able to get away with that a little bit because they just have to. And we've had them here in the past, and we had Bediako, you know, some guys weren't necessarily great individual defenders, but they got enough size to run you off the line. And where are they running you to? They're running you right in the best shot blocker in the country. So, you know, we're gonna have to get them on the perimeter some, or if we move our 5 on the perimeter and he still wants to hang out in the lane, he's got to be a great screener for some of our shooters and be able to get some other guys open. So, you know, we can't just. I thought we had some good actions against them last year, some decent concepts for what to do with them. You know, we weren't very good on defense at their place, but offensively we weren't too bad. You know, we've got different personnel this year, but we kind of go back to that a little bit, and then yeah, we're gonna have to make him guard us, and he's gonna be in the drop, and you know, our guards are gonna have to know what they're doing, attacking it. Drop coverage, good thing for us is we play in a drop most of the time. So pick and roll wise, we're used to going against what he does now. We don't have everybody as big as him, so but I do think our guys will get better, and they're pretty good at attacking drop, pick and roll coverage. We're also gonna have to get some off the ball stuff with him involved too. So.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.